Okay, so today's video is going to be another collection video. So I thought I would do a collection video on philodendron. I hadn't done this in the past because, to be honest, I thought I had way more philodendron than I actually have. I just counted them before and there's not actually that many. I've got way more Hoya than I do philodendron. So yeah, I thought I'd do a video on philodendron. So I will show you guys the philodendron that I own and maybe tell you a little bit about them. If I've got any care tips, then I'll let you know. But yeah, in general, I find philodendron to be pretty chill plants. Most of them are quite tolerant. They can often survive in a range of different light requirements. There's some philodendron that I find do really well in low light situations, whereas others need a bit more light. So yeah, it kind of depends on the philodendron, and as a rule for philodendron and basically all plants really, just water them when they're dry. So yeah, let's just get started. Okay, the first philodendron I have to show you, I will show you because it is right beside me, is this guy. It is Philodendron Lemon Lime. So yeah, that is him there. Isn't he cute? So I really love this philodendron. I love my Heartleaf as well, but I just like the colour of this one. It just gives a little bit of a variety. I really like on my plant shelf. The only neon plant that I have, so I just like the different colour. I love the Heartleaf shape. So this was a much smaller plant. I've recently did a couple of plant trades, and in one of the plant trades I got, I think it was 2 pretty well established lemon lime philodendrons. They had like 2 or 3 growth points in it. So I put all of them plus the ones I already had into this pot, and so he is looking nice and a bit full and much bigger now. And I just love, yeah, I love him. He's just so beautiful. So yeah, and he lives right here. I like to have him on my plant shelf because I would love him to be nice and long and trailing eventually. So that's him. Okay, since we're talking about philodendron lemon lime, I'll show you my Heartleaf next. So this is him. He is really quite big, but he is beautiful. So this is just my common philodendron Heartleaf, or I think its proper name is Philodendron cordatum, something like that. So yeah, it is just the same as the lemon lime philodendron, but the just normal green version. So you guys would have seen him in, I think it was my June plant haul video. My friend Chantel got me him for my birthday. So he came as quite a big plant, but he has grown quite a bit more. I actually really need to give him a bit of a trim and tidy him up a bit. And then I do want to put a few more cuttings back up in here because he's quite bare up the top. You can see that I've done a bit of pinning. I've pinned some of it in here, and he's really nice and lush down here. But yeah, I kind of want the top to be just as lush, so he's lush the whole way. He actually sits on a really bright windowsill, and I tell you what, he's doing so well. Apart from this one leaf, which you can see is gone a bit yellow, which is from having too much light, the rest of the leaves are doing pretty well. I think he got one tiny little burn, yeah, like right here. And the rest of the leaves are a little, some of them are a bit faded that are near the windowsill. But for the most part, he's doing pretty well. So I honestly thought I was going to have to move him from the windowsill because he gets direct, really hot, bright sunlight. But he seems to have adjusted pretty well to that amount of light, and yeah, he seems fine. So I'm just going to leave him there for now. And yeah, that's him, and super easy care. I've mentioned him in other videos as being a low light tolerant plant, so they definitely can survive in a lower light environment. But yeah, obviously with all plants, the more light you give them, the faster they're going to grow, and he's no different. He definitely has been growing pretty well in that spot that he is in. So yeah, that's him. Okay, the next plant is one of my absolute favourite philodendrons. I don't really know what to do with him, to be honest. I'm kind of in 2 minds about him, but anyway, this is my Philodendron Brasil. So here he is. So he is doing pretty good. I mean, he looks pretty full on the top, as you can see. But yeah, I just don't know what to do with him. I really want him to trail, but at the same time his leaves are getting really small, not having something to climb up. So if you can see, like this leaf for example, which actually happens to be a full yellow leaf, but anyway, you can see that's a nice big leaf. I'm kind of getting, where's a good example? I'm kind of getting almost this size now, so a lot smaller leaves. And he's like a little bit, I don't really know what he's doing here. I need to trim this back. I have been just like trimming him back a lot. Yeah, I don't really know. Do you think I should just leave him like this and let him just do his thing? Or do I pop him on a pole and make him go up? The only thing is I have him on a windowsill which is quite high up, and so I like that he kind of trails down and it just like, it looks really nice. So yeah, I'm not really sure. Let me know in the comments what you think I should do. I mean, I know a lot of people say just put it on something so that the leaves get nice and big, but I just really like the fact that he's trailing, even if the leaves are kind of small. And he has been growing some stunning leaves lately. I'll show you a couple. Some of them actually look so much like Philodendron Rio, or what's the other one, Philodendron Silver Stripe. So like this leaf has got something going on, which is quite cool. This is quite a cool leaf. So yeah, he's got some like really interesting leaves at the moment as well, which I'm loving. You can see he does have a few full yellows as well, but I don't mind that. I just let him do his thing. He quite often will pop out a couple full yellow leaves, and then the next leaf will be variegated. So yeah, I just let him do his thing. But yeah, that is my Philodendron Brasil. Okay, the next plant I absolutely love. It's one of my favourite plants like ever, but I just don't know what to do with him. He is just a bit of a mess at the moment. Ugh. This is his good side anyway. So the back is terrible, but the front looks beautiful. So yeah, this is my Philodendron Micans. He has got some stunning leaves, like you can see some massive ones. He is just amazing. Look at this one. Huge. So yeah, as you can see, if I tilt him down here, you can see that he's very bare at the top. He's got a lot going on kind of down here, and he's just got some vines that are just going all over the place. He's been putting out a lot of like really tiny leaves lately, and I know it's just because he's not on anything. So I think that, you know, I've been really resisting because I want him to trail, but I think that the spot he's in, he just can't really trail because there's just not enough, like there's nowhere really for him to go, so he kind of just, his trail just sits on top of like other plants, and it's not a great thing. And you can see he really wants to trail. Look how long this aerial root is. So yeah, I think I'm gonna have to do something with him and probably pop him on a fern fibre pole and maybe make him go up. I mean, I guess I can always take him off that eventually and let him trail when I do have more space, but until then I suppose it might be nicer for him if I just let him trail, because yeah, he's just, I don't know what's going on. There's like this big vine and I just don't know. But despite him, yeah, being a bit awkward, he is a beautiful plant, as you can see. I just love velvety plants, like the feel and the look, and I love the like centre vein, and I love how the new leaves come in like just such cool colours. This one's quite cool. He had a few come in that were like literally, they were red, which was stunning. If I have a photo, I'll pop it up here, but I'm not sure if I kept a photo or not. But yeah, so I love Philodendron Micans, but yeah, I think I need to do something with him because he's just a disaster. He's such a mess, so yeah. Okay, that's pretty much all the common philodendron that I have. The rest are all like uncommon to rare kind of philodendron. So yeah, I'll show you guys them. So this is my Philodendron Verrucosum. So he is a tiny, tiny little baby, but look how stunning this leaf is though. So yeah, I got him as quite a small cutting, and just all the leaves have been really small ever since, but they are sizing up already. So you can see that this leaf is a lot smaller than this leaf, for example, which has just unfurled. He's doing this weird thing. Yeah, I think he just really needs something to climb. So I'm probably going to, I think what I want to do is maybe I'm going to chop him about here and root it and put the cutting back in so he's a little bit fuller, and then pop him on some kind of, probably a fern fibre pole. At the moment he's just a little bit awkward, like he's kind of going on this funny angle, but he's still such a small cutting that I can't really, like the pot is so small that I'm not really going to be able to get a fern fibre pole in there. So that's one issue. So yeah, I might have to wait a little bit, and then when he's a little bit bigger and I can put him into a larger pot, then I will add a fern fibre pole for him to climb up, because yeah, this is not ideal. The Philodendron Verrucosums that you'll probably see online and everywhere, they've got massive leaves, so they do eventually get really huge leaves. And one of the things that I really like is they have like a furry stem. So this guy does kind of, I can feel it, but you can't see it. When they get bigger, you can actually see the fuzz. I didn't like this plant for such a long time. I used to think these were the ugliest plants, but now I think they are stunning. Just the colouring, the texture. Like, look how cute that leaf is. It is so cute. He's just chilling in my prop tank, and you can see he's got another leaf on the way. So I'll see what happens with that leaf, and then maybe I'll decide what I'm going to do with him. Okay, the next plant is a Philodendron Camposportoanum. So this is my guy here. So he is a bit funky. I'm still trying to get him looking how I want him. So he was originally one cutting, which you can see is going up here. I took a couple of cuttings of him and I put one back in here because you can see there's a lot of bare space here. I really want to make him nice and full eventually. I have another cutting with 2 leaves, but it was the growth tip I'm propagating at the moment, and then once that is rooted I'm going to chuck it in as well back in here. So I'm hoping that eventually like these leaves will grow up and kind of cover this empty spot, so that hopefully eventually it will look like a nice bushy plant. That is the goal anyway. He's just popped out this new leaf, so he's still a lovely new colour, but he really loves the fern fibre pole. You can see his aerial roots here. They're so long. So yeah, mine is a juvenile form, so it eventually will get kind of bunny shaped lobes. At the moment mine is very rounded and it almost looks like a Micans or even a Melanochrysum, but my original cutting did have the bunny shape, so I know it definitely is a Philodendron Camposportoanum. It's just quite juvenile still, so I can't wait for that to happen because that is what kind of drew me to it. I really liked the lobes. They just look, yeah, like bunny ears. So I can't wait for them to get a bit more mature and start to do that and get even bigger. But I also can't wait to like kind of fill in the skips, because at the moment it's just ugly having this like blank stem here. Okay, the next plant I love, you would have seen this in another one of my plant hauls. I can't remember which month it is though, but I'll pop a link up the top for you. But this is him. He has grown a little bit bigger since you last saw him. So it is my Philodendron Gloriosum. I kind of have to hold him back there for you to see the whole thing. Yeah, we'll just do like a little close-ups with these leaves. So unfortunately this leaf got a little bit damaged when it was unfurling, but that's okay. And you can see that it's got a new leaf on the way. I've repotted this twice since I got it, which was only about 6 months ago. The roots have just been growing like so fast, and it's already starting to come out of the pot. So if you don't know, Philodendron Gloriosum, rather than them kind of growing upwards, they really like to trail. So a lot of people have these in like long rectangle kind of pots. So he's kind of like almost needing that already, which is ridiculous. But I don't really have the space. So yeah, at the moment he's living in my prop tank, but I think that he's soon gonna grow out of that. So luckily his leaves are still quite small compared to an actual Gloriosum size. So obviously they are pretty big. They're about the size of my hand. But Philodendron Gloriosum, if you don't know, their leaves can get way bigger than that. Like, I'm talking big as my face, bigger than my face even. So at the moment he's still quite a small Philodendron Gloriosum. The leaves are quite tiny. I wanted one of these for such a long time. When I first got into plants I wanted one of these, and they were around $1,000 for like one leaf. Ridiculous. And now they're around the, I'd say the $200 to $300 mark, so a lot better than $1,000, but it's still a little way to go. So yeah, Philodendron Gloriosum. As you can tell, I love velvet leaf plants. It's just stunning, and I just love that veining as well. Love it. One of my faves for sure. Okay, the next plant, I'm pretty sure I've shown it to you before in one of my haul videos. It is my Philodendron White Princess. Here she is, isn't she stunning? I absolutely love her. So yeah, just love her. So she is like a Philodendron big princess, but it's a white princess, so she's got white variegation. And I think I mentioned this in the video where I showed her the first time that I love the pink kind of hues that you get on the stem. So that is one of the classic tells of it being a white princess. So yeah, it's got this beautiful like pinky hue along the stems, and I have seen that these can put out like quite light pink leaves occasionally. Mine hasn't yet, but it would be really cool if it did, because that would be like just awesome. This leaf is an old leaf and you can see it's kind of done its time, but that's okay, I'll just let it do that naturally. And yeah, this was the latest leaf to come out, so it's a half and half, which is pretty good. So she's got quite a few really nice leaves, like that's a good one, I quite like that one. So yeah, I'm very happy with the amount of variegation. These are still kind of relatively uncommon. They used to be very rare. I wouldn't say they're rare anymore, it's more uncommon. A lot of people do seem to have them, but not everybody. Haven't had any issues with her, no reversion yet. From what I'm aware, I'm not sure if this is how accurate this is, but I'm pretty sure that White Princess is known to be a lot more stable than Philodendron Pink Princess. So this is my Philodendron Pink Princess. Just trying not to spill any of the soil. So she is doing really well. I had a panic moment when this leaf came out. I was like, oh my gosh, oh no, she's reverted. But this leaf followed, which is a stunning leaf. So yeah, I'm interested to see what the next leaf will look like. Hopefully it is just as nice. So this girl has pretty good variegation, as you can see. Like this is a really nice leaf. Most of these leaves are really nice actually. The only average leaf really that she's got is this one. It doesn't have very much variegation, but the rest is stunning. So yeah, if you don't know, I used to have a Philodendron Pink Princess. It was a lot smaller than this. I had it for almost 2 years, and I just had a lot of issues with it. First, it reverted and it would only put out leaves that look like this, so full pink leaves, which if you don't know, the plant cannot sustain these leaves forever. It just doesn't have any chlorophyll in it, which means that yeah, it just can't survive. It doesn't have what it needs to survive. So yeah, my old one just kept putting out leaf like this after leaf after leaf after leaf. The plant was suffering. I chopped it back hoping that this would encourage more variegation, and instead it just reverted completely and it was just putting out full green leaves. So I gave up on it. But I saw this one on Facebook recently and I picked it up. It was really good price. It had 3 less leaves than this. I had another one that has died off, and it had really good variegation. It was a lot bigger than my original one, so I thought I'd give it another go. So far so good, so I'm hoping that it will continue to put out leaves with really nice variegation. Fingers crossed. And if it doesn't, then that's a bit sad, but what can you do? At least I can always chop it back and I'll still have these lovely leaves though, right? So that's all good. So that's my Philodendron Pink Princess. So my neighbour has just decided to mow his lawn, so I'm really sorry if you can hear that. Hopefully you can't. I feel like you probably are going to be able to hear it though, so I'm really sorry about this, but we only have 3 more plants to go, so yeah, let's try to get through it. Okay, the next plant is, you've seen it before. It hasn't really grown much since you've seen it, to be honest, but I'll show you anyway. It is my Philodendron Rio. So that's him there. So he does have a few new leaves. This is a new leaf, which is quite nice. I think this might be a new leaf since you saw it. And it's got a little leaf coming in here. So it is like a Philodendron Brasil, but hopefully with these new leaves you can see it a bit more clearly. They kind of have this like splashy bit around the edge. And if you can see, there's like one little thin line of white. So you can kind of see it better on this leaf. So it goes yellow, then there's 2 white lines on the edge, and then sometimes there's like this kind of splashy sort of bit along the side. So I'm pretty sure, I didn't really know when I last showed you this what it was, but I'm pretty sure it's a Philodendron Rio. It's definitely not a cream splash. So yeah, it was either a Philodendron Rio or a silver stripe, but the more photos I've looked at, the more I'm convinced it's a Rio. So I think it is a Rio. That is what it was sold to me as. So I love my Philodendron Brasil so much, as I just told you. So yeah, I had to have this guy. And if you've seen the cream splash, it's also stunning, so I have to have that too. Hopefully one day this guy will be a nice big beautiful plant like my Brazil, but for now he's really cute, isn't he? He's so little and he's pretty adorable. Okay, the second to last plant that I have to show you is my Philodendron Soderoy. I think it might actually be what they call a Soderini, so it's like a small leafed version because all the leaves are really small. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it is a small leaf version, but he is doing pretty good. You can see it's got another leaf on the way here, which is exciting. I think I'm going to wait for this leaf to grow and then chop that off and give that to Chantal because she also shares this with me. And I've just noticed, which is very exciting, if you can see, it's got a new growth point growing right at the bottom, which is pretty cute. So yeah, to be honest, I'm quite happy that it's the small one. I prefer the small version to the large version. Just think it's really cute. I like the detail in the leaves. You can see this leaf is about to die off, but that is fine. I think that's just natural processing because it's getting a new growth point as well. It is the oldest, one of the oldest leaves, so that's all good, but the rest are doing well. So yeah, very cute. Okay, the last plant I have to show you, I've shown you before, but I'll show you again, is my Philodendron Melanochrysum. So here he is. So you might be thinking, gosh, he hasn't grown much. He has actually. So he had two more beautiful leaves. So these ones, they came when I got him, they were damaged, and then this was a new leaf, so you can see that he is fine. This is just artificial damage and that's all good, but I have just chopped the top growth point off, which has two leaves, and I'm just rooting it, and then I plan on popping it back in here. Hopefully he will fill in this blank spot here and it will become more bushy. And yeah, so he is pretty cute, as I've said already like twice in this video. I love velvety plants, so yeah, I love him, and I can't wait for these leaves to get nice and big eventually. So if you don't really know the difference between these and Micans, so one noticeable difference is the veining. So it's quite prominent in the Melano, whereas it's not so prominent in the Micans. I mean, it kind of is, but it kind of has the center part, but it doesn't really have these kind of like lines that you can see here that the Melano has. And then eventually if you've seen a mature one of these, they can get huge, like meter tall, you know, massive. But obviously, hopefully he's not going to do that for a long time, because I'm happy with him being small for now, because I don't have the space for a leaf that's like a meter tall. I just do not. So yeah, that is him. He's pretty cute, and I can't wait to pop that other cutting in there so that I don't have this kind of like empty spot. Okay, that is the end of that video. Hopefully you enjoyed this collection video of my philodendrons. So that is all of them, and I do plan on doing an updated collection video in the future. I've had a few requests for like Hoya and things like that, so I will definitely do an updated Hoya collection video. I will probably do it maybe at the end of summer, just so that all the Hoyas have like a maximum amount of time to get in their growth before it hits the cold months and they stop growing so fast. So yeah, keep tuned for that one. I'll definitely do that, and I'll probably at that point have to do a peperomia one eventually too. I don't think I really have any more syngoniums or begonias to show you, but yeah, definitely Hoya, my Hoya and peperomia collection have grown since those previous videos. So stay tuned for those, and if there's any other videos that you would like to see, please let me know. I've thought about doing a collection video or a houseplant tour kind of video, but I don't know if it would be too repetitive for you guys to see the same things that you've seen in the collection videos or not. But yeah, just let me know if you would be keen for that, and I can totally do that too. So anyway, enough rambling. That is the end of that video. As always, please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Bye!